Centurion is up and running. There's an hour and a half late radio today. Sorry, 2.5 hours late radio today. If anyone is interested in jumping in that one, has a 50k guarantee. We are also running clips to do it if you are interested. 250 110s.
5, 3, 48.
As well. Which big one? Jody? Yeah, with me. Yeah, cool. What a player. Oh, how many drinks?
Hello and welcome all to those tuning in to day 2 of the Centurion here at the Commercial Club Albury for the Aplpt series here. It is the 3rd day overall for the series, and things are continuing to build around the room, but right now we have our streamed action on 20-minute delay for the $2,500 entry. Centurion with a $50,000 guaranteed prize pool on offer. And just about 2 hours left to get yourself here to enter. Is a huge value opportunity up for grabs. With just the 10 entries at the moment. It says 9 on your screen, but that 10th Parasuzukas making his way into seat 1. So still plenty of time for some of the players in at the moment to re-enter if need be, as well as those making the trip either up from Melbourne or the surrounding areas, or down from whether it be Queensland, Sydney, or anywhere else around Australia. There's people coming in from a variety of locations. Nice little location it is here in Albury. Tomorrow, of course, the Jackster Super High Roller, $150,000 guarantee on that one. And there's a fair chance that that number will surely be exceeded. A great satellite program that they do have here in Albury. Full credit to the regional manager, Michelle Hind. Mashers, as she's affectionately known, for driving that pathway system to make sure that plenty of people get the chance to play in Australia's favourite regular $1,500 event. And now we'll turn our attention to the action. 2 eliminations yesterday, so just 8 players remaining from this field of 10. And It's my pleasure to introduce the stream to you. I won't be here for too long, but my name is Chris Waddy. You'll see me in the background there at the commencement of play, running around with that camera, getting a few photos, and I've just popped up the post encouraging anyone considering playing to come on down. Andy Mitchell there, spiking a 3 on the river despite being dominated all the way through up until the turn. And he gets his tournament underway with a nice little pot. We are streaming on a variety of platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are also on Twitch. PlayAPL.tv has you covered for easy access to all those locations. And we have an on-site commentary setup, not quite a booth, but there's 2 microphones here. And throughout the rest of the series, you'll be hearing Jordan Bromley, our expert lead commentator, long-time servant, on the microphone for the APL streams. He'll be leading the way, remotely commentating alongside a variety of guest speakers. So for any players here at the Commercial Club looking to get involved, come and see our staff here, find me, and we'll find a way to get you on the mic if we can make it work. Now, let's look at this hand here. We've had an open from Josh Foster, blinds 1200, 2400 with a 2400 big blind ante. And raises to 4.8 thousand. Andy Mitchell with 10s in the small blind finds a 3-bet on the smallish side, considering he's out of position. And Mark Williams priced in with his queen jack of clubs on the big blind, and Josh can't fold a suited ace in position. And we go 3 ways. The board that's pretty safe for Andy's 10s, over pair to the board on a paired board. He does check it over. Mark there, imagine he'll be doing anything too out of line here, except for the fact that he's in the big blind, and this board actually strikes his range quite well, so it makes sense for him to lead out. I stand corrected. Josh there, not willing to come in with his backdoors. And Andy there, I imagine, will appeal to see a turn. And again, Mark there, despite his hand really not connecting too much with that board, knows that in the big blind he's likely to have the widest range of hands, connecting more with those 5s and 6s there. Especially when Andy checks it over, he's willing to start telling that story, and Andy does the same thing again, and maybe Mark is catching on to the fact that maybe Andy's laying a trap. Or not. He rips it. And Andy's not loving this, but I think 3 6s is better than 2 on the board. Unless you're really putting your opponent on quads, you've got to feel pretty safe here with 10s, and there's a fair chance that you can possibly have a 5 there that can take this line. Flopping 2 pair and turning a boat, so Andy's going to give this some thought. Obviously, in a $2,500 buy-in, there are no easy decisions, but he's elected to use one of his time extension cards. Players get 30 seconds to act, and another 30 seconds per card used. Players have 6 in their stack, topped up at the start of today, and then again at the start of final table. So, really interesting play here from Mark, and it's, regardless of whatever Andy does here, it's a good play because it's really put him in the tank. And the more this goes on, the closer I think Andy is to possibly finding a fold. Just on how he's wiggling the cards around in his hand. Obviously, we can see the cards, and it's easy to look at it and go, just call. But what can Mark really be representing here other than a 5 or 6? And again, hard to give him too much credit for a 6. One of those cases where if your opponent has quads, good luck to him. For Andy's sake, I hope he finds a call, but we spoke yesterday at length. There we go. He finds a fold, and Mark Williams, the man who has won a Centurion before, the man that has won a Jackstar before, showing there his ability to put fear aside and just go for it. And aggression, especially in these kind of events, often pays off, and it does so there. Big fold from Andy, and he's going to see the bad news in about 20 minutes' time. These players do have access to a running TV screen coverage on both ends of this feature table, so that players don't need to watch on their phone, and everyone has equal access to see the whole cards as they were 20 minutes in the past. Once again, my name is Chris Waddy, APL Media, APLpt Media particularly. A lot of the photos that you'll see up on the Facebook page and Instagram taken by yours truly. So it can't be stuck here for too long. There'll be moments where there won't be any commentary, but we're going to hope to change that based on some volunteers that are willing to jump in. But we'll come back to this hand here. Josh with the standard open. And gun with the kings. Finds a flat from Mark on the button in position. And on this monotone board, Josh, with his entire range, is either going to be betting extremely small or checking, which he's elected to do the latter. And Mark there with the flush draw and 2 overs, felt safe having a stab, and Josh checks it over again, and this time Mark checks back, and we go straight through to a river, which neither player is going to like the look of that ace. Marky showing up with king high. Now, the question is, does Josh think he can get any value from a bet here, or is he only getting called by better hands? He knows Mark is certainly a capable player, as we just saw a couple of hands ago. Mark's willing to take a risk or an aggressive route, so He's not always just going to be calling with an ace here, but with king high, Mark lets it go, and Josh's kings will hold up, and good for a few extra big blinds into his stack. So once again, looking for some interaction in the channels through the comments section. Say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you're considering heading down to the commercial club here in Albury. Again, if you're not coming in for the Centurion, which I highly suggest you do, with that massive value opportunity in the form of that $50,000 guarantee. And again, just the 10 entries, barely halfway to that guarantee, and we have just under 2 hours left before we close registration. 6:30 is the cutoff. 2 60-minute levels of play, a half an hour dinner break, and then these players are looking at a healthy return on investment based on the field size and that guarantee. Just looking at some of the comments on Facebook at least. Daniel representing WA. Matt Reese, hello from Tanzania. Nice. Daniel's at work. I'm at work too. And William asking what the payouts are. Not confirmed yet. But like we said, regardless, there'll be $50,000 being paid out. Whoever makes the cash in this event, and it's a fun hand. Apologies for some of the pronunciations, but Zikwi Yang dominated pre-flop, flops the flush draw, and turns the spades he needs. On check both streets. He elects not to raise here, and let's Guang Hui he do the betting. And I believe someone referred to him as Spencer in the comments yesterday, so he might go by Spencer, so we'll call him that. Spencer leading on the turn, and on this double paired board, ace high can perform pretty well. And now Ziki's flush heavily downgraded. Not loving it, but based on the action, how many combinations involving a 7 or a 5 would Spencer flat on the button? Maybe not too many, or few enough for Yang to lead out on the river for a value bet. Now Spencer here in the tank, potentially thinking that there's a chance at chopping. And calling for a chop he is, and he's going to see the bad news up against a flush. And 33,000 chips going to Yang there. 100,000 start stack, 60-minute levels on day 2. Centurion recently, a few series ago, underwent a structure change from having 60-minute levels the whole tournament to now 45 minutes on day 1. Shot clocks have been introduced. That's great for viewers at home. No more excessive tanking. Obviously, it's a massive tournament, big buy-in, so there are those time extension cards for those massive spots. And they get topped up both at the start of today and then again at the start of final table. Josh Foster sitting with the chip lead at the moment, and he arrived here yesterday from Melbourne with intentions of playing the Centurion. But with a slightly delayed start, he decided to hop into the 6-max instead. And almost as soon as he jumped in the 6-max, the Centurion started, and he decided to see how he went in the 6-max before hopping into this one, and just casually wins the 6-max. So congrats to Josh on that yesterday. Covers his buy-in for today. He says he loves the 6-max format, as do I, and as do many others. Short-handed action. Plenty of play, always. Different dynamic. But unfortunately, it usually coincides with the Centurion, which Josh, more often than not, opts to instead. And why wouldn't he? He won the Centurion at this very series this time last year. Almost exactly 12 months ago. The deep freeze is just locked out with 68 entries. $600 buy-in, half an hour levels, 60k start stack. A very popular event, and for good reason. And on that note, regarding the deep freeze, prize pool has just been confirmed, $11,000 up top. And on our Facebook page, you're about to see a gallery of about 50 of the players that took part today. I'm not just sitting here talking, I have my laptop in hand and plugging away at the essential parts of my role here. We're going to try and get some various guests on from members of our crew. If we can get Joel Williams, APL's head of poker, to come on and keep you company, that'd be nice. Jackie Glazier, our ambassador, has just entered the building as well. Her favorite event, the Jack's the Super High Roller, 150k guarantee tomorrow, 3 o'clock here at the Commercial Club, Albury. She and I will be filming our mandatory video.
Don't be like, oh no.
So we have Han Kanjao opening from the cutoff with ace 9. Peter Yu electing to 3-bet from the button with the ace 8 off. And obviously we could see the cards, and that is the best flop that Peter could ask for, considering the hand he's up against. Dominated pre, but spikes 3 outs. Hankin not really connecting with that board as much as he would like, and I'm not sure if there's been too much history between him and Peter in the past to know that if you can float one street, peel a second card, or in this case, fire in a raise. He's got one spade in his hand, so blocking some combinations of spades that Peter could have. But Peter, not deterred, comes along. And another scare card for both players. What Hankun doesn't want to see on this river is an ace. That would cause some trouble, but for now, after being 3-bet pre and then having his raise, or his check raise on the flop called in a tricky scenario when this comes on the turn. Left pretty hamstrung and elects to check. Check, check it goes, and a brick on the river. And there's really no way of guessing exactly how this river action will play out. Could just go check, check. Hankun with some showdown value, perhaps. Or does he feel as though he can have a stab here? It's interesting because the line taken both pre and on flop is not particularly what you'd match to the whole cards that we can see that they've got. So yesterday we saw a lot of four-handed play with some interesting action. Obviously not going to get too many premiums. Range is going to be a lot wider, so there was a lot of leveling and raising and 3-betting and 4-betting, and now here as we come back to 8-handed, expect things to normalize a little bit. Now Peter here, does he feel as though his 8 is going to be good enough here? Would a bet he be a value bet or a bluff? He elects to check, and he's going to see that he spiked a 3-outer. And Peter Yu escalates into the chip lead.
You're allowed as well. River was a queen anyway, you good. That's alright.
Alright, deals for the deep freeze, make your way back, please.
He was just king, like.
That's alright. Table.
Just thought this one as well.
Let's pop up this deep freeze gallery as I juggle both commentary and maintaining the social media pages. As we pay attention to this hand, Mark Williams getting the action to 5,000 with the King 10 of clubs. Peter in the cutoff with a 3-bet candidate, which he elects to run with from the cutoff with the Ace Queen off. And it comes back around to Mark, who is happy to call it off and see a flop. Very playable hand post-flop, even though he's out of position. And even more so when you flop top pair, second best kicker. And backdoor clubs there as well. Not much going the way of Peter with his red cards, looking at a black flop.
And we're looking at Max Slay Bridging, Steve Highway for your second card.
And on 10 high boards here, not uncommon to see a check back. Maybe in a single raise pot, but in a 3-bet pot, feels comfortable enough with his hand to continue. And Mark there with a quick call. Peter's still going to win this hand a quarter of the time from this point onwards. But not with those kind of turn cards, as Mark checks it over again. Still looking pretty solid on this board with King 10, and Peter does elect to slow down, check it back. We go to a river, needs an ace or a queen. You can see the outs up the top there. With one folded pre-flop. And Mark's going to get the check mark. Now, you'd imagine he's going to be looking at value betting this river here. And it goes check, check on the turn. Sometimes Mark could be doing this with a bluff here. If he didn't have king 10, and potentially some spades in his hand. Some other high card combos. He might take an aggressive route after Peter showed weakness on that turn and takes a stab, but this time he does have value. Peter does see that. So pretty standard play there. Not going to blame Peter for making the call there. And Mark Williams looking for a second Centurion title as we get ready to welcome one of hopefully many guests throughout the week into this booth.
All dealers, you are right to shuffle up and deal. We are now locked down.
And it is with great pleasure that I get to introduce the Jackstar herself, APL Ambassador, Jackie Glazier. Welcome, Jackie. Welcome to the series.
Chris.
Welcome to the booth.
I know. How exciting. I love Albury.
It's it's always nice here. Different kind of vibe compared to the usual series that we're at. And this time around, we have an on-site commentary desk, fully set up, nicely done by Brendan. And get some guests rotating in throughout the week for our stream coverage for tomorrow and Saturday, which will be of your favorite event, the Jackstar.
Of course, yes.
Tell us a little bit about it, Jackie. What are we expecting?
Look, I think we have a 100K guarantee on it.
150.
150.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Look at that. Should know that, shouldn't I, before I jumped in here? Look, I've just arrived to give me a little break. But yeah, 150K guarantee, 80K start stack. We kick off at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And obviously, if you can't get here tomorrow, you can drive up or down, depending on where you're coming from, on Saturday. And registration closes at 12:40 on Saturday. So plenty of time to get there.
Absolutely. So definitely not uncommon to see a lot of late arrivals on Saturday morning or even later on the Friday as we get more interstate arrivals coming in.
And I heard, I've just arrived here, but this has quite a big overlay in the Centurion. Is this correct?
At the moment, yeah. And Joel put up a video a short time ago talking about the value on offer. He says he doesn't like the O word.
Right.
Yeah, we call it value,
Value.
or as I've recently coined, reverse underlay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, it's a good chance to get yourself here. How long? I think you've got 3 hours or so to get here and into this. So,
yeah, we're nearing the end of level 1 now, and so it was 2 levels of play plus a half an hour dinner break, so 2.5, and
yep.
That's been trimmed down now as we get closer to that 6:30 cutoff point to enter this 2.5K Centurion with that $50,000 guarantee. So just the 10 players entered at the moment, and that's roughly close to 23,000 in the prize pool ordinarily. So barely even halfway to that guarantee. So yeah, value is the right word there.
Yeah.
Jackie?
Yes. If ever you've been thinking about playing the Centurion and should I or shouldn't I? This would be the perfect time.
Now's
to
the
jump
time.
In. Yeah.
It's
to
plus
jump
EV.
in there. Yes,
That's what it is.
for sure.
Absolutely. So we'll wait for an interesting hand and we'll call that. But for the moment, again, looking back at last time we were here for the Jackstar a year ago, it was a series where we didn't have the stream up and running. We're in a transitional period where we've got the wonderful new setup now, and a few other changes were going on. So a bit of a smaller field, I think, for that one at the time. But the guarantee is back on, and I think I remember a March series here a couple of years ago where the entry count exceeded, I think, 200 or more runners. I'll actually pull up that number now. We've had some big fields here.
There's been a lot of support, especially for the Jackster here in Albury. So
yeah, we're talking about waiting for an interesting hand, and it didn't look all too crash hot with the open of King 3 off from the button, and then
Yeah, timing's not so good, right?
Small blind 3-bet there from Andy, and of course Mark just wakes up with aces. We're just saying that Mark's won a Centurion before. He's also come second in a Centurion, and he's also won a Jackstar. So, and he's been pretty active this morning, probably the biggest winner so far today. And
I see Josh has taken no time. I saw on the reports that he pretty much come in, just binged himself a tournament, and now, on to his next.
Yep.
Sitting pretty nicely here on this table as well.
Yeah. Just looking at this, the Albury Jackstars in the past. Yeah, it was March 2024. We had 238 entries for that one. The smallest Jackstar that I can see here was 146 entries. That's the smallest that I think we've ever had in Albury. And if you do the maths, 146 entries. Is still just shy of a 200k prize pool, so 189,000.
Yeah.
That 150k guarantee, I think, is certainly in grave danger of being well surpassed. So Albury feels like a quiet town at times, and it is, but they all show up for the showpiece event. They show up for you, Jackie.
Look, I'm pretty sure they don't show up for me, but yeah, I do appreciate them showing up for the Jackster at least. I mean, let's face it, it's a great tournament.
It is. So once again, 80k start stack, 40-minute levels, entry available all throughout day one tomorrow. I'll be bagging up and then coming back at midday on Saturday for one level until 12:40, when we'll then close registration. So, yeah, like we said, lots of late arrivals that come in on the Saturday morning. And we expect no different now. Like we said, in the last few years here, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had 8 Jackstars here at the $1,500 price point. And it averages about 190 entries. So that's pretty safe.
Yeah, I think obviously there's a lot going on at the moment too with poker, and a lot of options for people, but like, let's face it, 150k guaranteed is one that you don't probably want to miss either. So yeah, it'd be good to see everyone over the weekend.
Absolutely. And another thing that I mentioned earlier is the wonderful effort of the local staff here, led by Michelle Hine, the region manager here in the Murray region, for driving a fantastic satellite program. And I didn't get here until Tuesday, but I believe every Monday night before a series they host a big Jackstar satellite, which a lot of the staff often play before
they do.
Jumping in. They arrive, they help set up, and then they wind down with a game of poker with all the locals. And those satellite programs, which is obviously not just that one tournament, there's plenty in the weeks leading up to it that drive plenty of entries, and that's why those numbers are always so strong here in Albury.
Yeah, Michelle does such an amazing job, and she's so well liked by all the locals as well, so it makes it a pleasant experience to turn up and play poker when she's running stuff.
Absolutely. We'll turn into the chat in a moment, see who's watching along. Once again, my name is Chris Waddy, usually behind the camera here at the Aplpt series around the country, and I'm joined by APL's very own ambassador, Jackie Glazier, for whom the Jackster is named after. We'll be popping off pretty soon to get our usual video out of the way.
Yeah, we love doing these promotional videos. Absolutely. Chris is always, I feel like you're always just...
We have a bit of fun.
Yeah, we do have a bit of fun. Yeah.
Like posting the bloopers sometimes.
Yeah.
But right now we've got some strong viewership. We've got 73 people watching on Facebook.
Oh, hello, 73 people. That's awesome.
And then on YouTube, let's have a look. We got 38, just round that up to 40. And then I was bad-mouthing Twitch yesterday. I was saying we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're also on Twitch. We have this many on Facebook, we have this many on YouTube, and I won't even bother looking at Twitch. It's probably like 3 or 4 people. And then I basically got too curious after saying that, went and looked at Twitch myself, saw there was like 30 people watching. So
Yeah, I think it's great too. But also too, I think it's worth commending. Like, I think the poker community as a whole is just so much more positive than it used to be like years ago as well. Like, they're just people are more positive. Like, comments are really
Yeah.
are good as well. And I just think it's just a nice social community where you can have a chat in the chat box as well while you're watching. Yeah, while we're watching some of the Australia's best players fight it out in this Centurion. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll tune into some of those comments now. Got Grant Wheeler there. Power Poker by Marky the Goat. Yep. Got the runs on the board in the
Where
past.
is Grant?
Where is Grant? Good question.
Yeah.
Where are you, Grant?
Grant, where are you?
There we go. Get yourself down here. Merlin31 said in the comments yesterday that they'll be playing their first Jackstar ever. So they were pretty excited about that, saying that they'll be there tonight. So
Congrats. Yeah, that's exciting. So many people have spoken to me about the first time that they played it, and it's really been on their bucket list for playing. Just remember too that if you're not used to like kind of deep stack poker, just take your time to ease into the game as well. So it can be nervous when it's the first that you play it, but you've got plenty of chips, and yeah, just feel your way through the table at the start. That's my biggest advice.
great advice from Jackie. Been in the game for a long time, built up all the experience, and when you get players jumping into their first Jackstar, it's wonderful. So Merlin31, everyone's got usernames here, so I don't know what people's real names are. Don't know if they're male or female. So Merlin, come and introduce yourself. Say hi. Nice to put a face to the name.
For sure. Yeah, I'd love to say hi.
Terrence questioning 1.5 levels of Rego. Yep, 2 levels of 60 minutes in length and then a half an hour dinner break. The breaks are every 2 hours. Grant asking Jackie overrunders on 180. I won't read out the rest of that comment.
He took advantage of me one night when I was playing the teams event, I think, and made me like do some stupid bet with him, and he won, and I had to pay him the next day.
Didn't you win the teams event that night?
Oh yeah, I did. But yeah,
It was you and it was King George, wasn't it?
Yeah.
King George of Bankstown.
yeah. He made that. Oh look, I'm in the background.
Oh yeah.
I'm in their commentary. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he did. Yeah, he tricked me. I told him it was unfair, but he still made me pay him.
Well, I think it was a bit of a trade. You got the good karma of winning the team's event, and he got whatever bet you
Look,
made, unless it was a
bet's
wager
a bet.
larger than.
No, a bet's a bet. You like, yeah.
Yeah, you
we all learn that pretty fast in the poker room. Don't make any stupid bets because you know what, you'll be forced to play it.
Yeah, bet with your head not over it. Gamble responsibly, and
This hand could get a bit interesting between.
yeah.
them.
So Peter, I'll remind you, Jackie, he won the APL 600 main event. 22-year-old Tyler from Canberra, and took home $108,000 barely a year after he first started learning the game of poker. Him and his dad started playing at the same time, and a pretty nice score to get pretty early in your career, and now, for good reason, jumping into the big events where possible. He is certainly at that level and more than capable, and he's taken a step here from the big blind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a raise here.
Nut clubs on offer there for Zikui Yang. He does elect to raise. We'll see the amount, looking at maybe around the 20k sizing, or maybe you'll go, yep, 22.5.
Marky with top.
Yeah, a real weird one.
Yeah, I think
What are you thinking here, Jackie? If you're in Mark's shoes, obviously we can see the hand, but one thing that I like to do.
I mean, there's a lot of
commentators-
draws
Yeah.
there, so it's a pretty wet board. So
Yeah,
I don't think, he's gonna. Well, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be folding.
yeah.
Um,
And now Peter here with a gut shot. Probably best
Get
off
the way,
hearing
yeah.
the road. Yep. Yeah, some hands like Queen Jack. And rappy hands like Jack 8. And obviously all the kind of clubs there. So
really good turn for Marky. Like, obviously
safe,
none
yeah.
of the draws have
I've got there.
Have got there.
When there's a raise like that, from where Zikui is, often screams out draw.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes sets can take that line, but Mark there with top still feels pretty comfortable. But I think we can have 9s or 10s here. Obviously Mark blocking.
I mean, yeah, he's on the big blind as well too. So, he's always Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
race
Oh,
pre.
yeah, sorry, yeah, Roseberry, sorry.
I think it was, yeah, it was Peter that was in the big line when he had the Jack 7 off. And when it goes that kind of board, the 10 high
Yeah.
flop looks pretty good more often than not for the hands in the blinds. But now Mark here has just gone bang. Big bet from Zekwe on the turn there with the nut clubs, and he'll have to call off the remainder of his stack, but he's not getting the worst price. He's getting roughly 4-1 on a call, which is right on the border of possibly what you'd need with the nut clubs. And we can see the percentages there. He's going to get there 25% of the time. We can see that his Jack is also still live.
Yeah.
But 2 have been folded. So yeah, this is rough because there's so much in the pot, and he's got 70k behind. So
I suppose
could
he
be,
needs to think about whether he can eliminate sets here as well, and whether, thinking whether the ace or the jack is still live, in his opinion.
Yeah.
As well, as to whether he's going to make the call here.
Yeah. And the way Mark's been playing, if he's looked up at the screen, you can see that Mark's had a mix of both value and bluff. So certainly capable of doing this with some worse holdings, but obviously Zekwe, they're blocking clubs, so obviously Mark's not doing this with the nut flush draws, so he's more likely to have value at this stage, and that might influence his decision to let it go. So we can see it's a good bowl, but from an odds perspective, the price was really right on the cusp mathematically to pay it off. Cash game certainly might have come along, but in a 2.5k tournament where it's all about protecting a tournament life, and still got 70% of a start stack, more than willing to cut your losses and work it up from there. So we'll just have another look at the chat. We might need to get a move on soon with our video, Jackie, and I believe you want to jump into the main event as well.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into the main event. Obviously not getting here early enough to, I want to try and grab a bag as early as possible and then kind of relax into Jackstar for tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, lovely. So you'll be getting our standard video where Jackie's pretty much going to repeat everything we just said. So
yeah,
if you do see the video pop up on your feed, give it a like. Helps with engagement. We do appreciate it. So thanks for those tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll probably pop in during the week and have another chat.
Absolutely. A popular figure, and for good reason. Hopefully you're not here too much because it means that you're running deep in an event.
For sure.
But if the cards don't fall the way that you'd like, there's always a seat open here for you, Jackie. So thank you so much, APL Ambassador Jackie Glazier, for joining us in the booth. And I might be hopping away with her. Thank you, Jackie. So we're going to have to let play continue here without commentary. Always a pleasure to have Jackie share some of her advice from all the experience that she's built up throughout the year, and obviously in a role here at APL to help promote her event, the Jackstar. Like we said, healthy turnouts in the past here in Albury. And if there's one thing that we can count on, despite the numbers in other fields, is that the Jackstar will always do well. Deep freeze there with 68 and that $600 buy-in. Going well today, 11,000 up top. The Aplpt Classic with a $20,000 guarantee. It's the same structure as the old main event at the $180 price point. A couple of small fields in that one so far, so there might be another value opportunity in that. I believe there's 5 flights in total. The second flight currently taking place. Rego has closed, and that just got the 13 entries. So certainly a great opportunity for some value there. Flight 3 of the Classic starts in just under an hour, so If you're looking for a great return on investment, $180 buy-in with a $20,000 guarantee. And the beauty of that event is, with that old main event structure, is you're getting a really, really good structure. It's a 50K start stack and half an hour levels. For a 180 price point, you don't get that too often, especially with that guarantee. So the Aplpt Classic, Day 2 will be on Saturday, so your final chance to bag will be in amongst the 2 flights tomorrow. So I highly, highly recommend looking at that event. But for now there, we can see Andy with the check mark. Josh drawing dead. Trip aces here. And after Josh check raised the flop, Andy to continue to lead here. Josh might have some warning bells ringing in his ear. That his deuce might not be looking so great at this point. He does elect to add another 30 seconds to his thinking time. I'll see how this hand plays out with a fold. And for the moment, I will love you and leave you briefly. Once again, this is the $50,000 guaranteed Centurion. 2.5K buy-in. Just 10 entries in this field. Get yourself here. If you're not already, you won't see value opportunities like this too often. Massive chance on offer. Plus EV play. Get yourself down here to the Commercial Club in Albury. I've been Chris Waddy. I'll be back on soon. Off to do some more of my regular media duties. But for now, we look forward to welcoming other guests in the box throughout the week. But enjoy the visuals for the time being and the table mic.
Left for the Jackstar, 5 for the Centurion. We're starting a new main event flip. $50 1 in 10. Anyone interested, put your hand up. Okay, just come around the clipboard. Did you take cash or card?
Oh, look at this one. You got the max. ball. King ball. Hey ball. Did you reset?
Yellow players, make your way to the tables. 9-second call for your tournament starts. All okay, below the little screen in the back of the room.
Just traveling through all regions. So I felt last night, I was walking home with you guys in the city. We walked past this pub. Max 8 Retro pub board. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally through the window we saw the screen. You had to play it. Had to play it. Fuck the first hand.
That's alright. At least you didn't waste my night.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a Max 8 Retro bounty board. Like,
Yeah.
I regretted it.
It to grind it.
Players in the main event, your blinds are up. 200, 400.
35.
400 big blind ante. 244 in the main.
Georgie boy, what are you thinking about?
I was thinking so much respect for the first hand.
I just. What is that?
This?
Not the spoon fit with curry. What is this?
It's a chip.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Don't look at his cards, bro.
Oh, it's
Heal.
It's from a 2500.
FL. That's Frank's. Cool that is.
Players in the deep freeze, your price pool is up on the screen. Top egg you paid today, $17.85 down the bottom. And $11,070 up the top. Deep freeze players and dealers, your blinds go up next hand. 12, 24, 24. So players in deep freeze, 12, 24.
Yeah, mine's up. 15, 3.
flop. Well, deuce, 3, 4. 7. 10. Oh. Fucking hell. Isaac, don't buy in again. Wait.
Just sit out. Sit on.
You made that deal.
Sit on 5.
I'm
Sit
gonna
on
be
5.
active. I'll buy in.
Yeah, you have to. That would have been a good move. It would have been good. For everyone. I mean, like, just
more
like,
so for me.
yeah, of course. Yeah. It's plus if for everyone is yours.
What I understand.
That's not plus. I'm gonna start tanking, so no one rebuys. Fuck it. We're hurting ourselves. We've got 50k prize pool no matter what, and we're just putting more chips in by busting people. We can't play.
My bad.
Yeah, limit only. Well, just limit. Just play limit.
Limit, yeah, exactly. Okay, 6.
Only 3 bets tonight.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Wow. So 3, 4.
Oh my god. Georgie.
6 o'clock.
This is sad. What a sad hand.
7 4. This will be very.
You actually rank in the right odds. That's crazy. This was a good fall. 70k to win 270.
Heads up.
I'm jumping into commentary briefly just to call this hand here. Jesse May, new to the table. Check, check, flop, bets the turn, and on the river puts in 30,000 with 7 high. And Josh Foster with ace high. Puts him all in. Bluffing with the best hand. Wow, what a play from Josh. Now escalates himself as the standalone chip leader. Close to 3 start stacks. Mark Williams and Peter Yu, 3rd and 2nd in chips respectively. And once again, a reminder, only 11 entries registered at the moment. There's a $50,000 guarantee. This stage, to be blatantly honest, looking a little bit dire right now. So these players here, or rather anyone that registers, looking at a great value opportunity. We'll let the action play out, continue. We'll let the action continue to play out, rather. I'll be jumping back into commentate when I can. We've just filmed our video with Jackie. Going to try and get it posted. Some final tables for other events on the horizon. And if the Centurion isn't quite what you're looking for, we've got plenty else going on in the room. The PLO 8 Max has gotten underway, just entered into level 2, and 2 tables up and running. 12 players for that one. Main event flight 2 also began a short time ago. And we're half an hour away from the third flight of the $20,000 guaranteed Aplpt Classic. $180 entry. And for that price point, you won't get many better structures than what we have on offer here. 50K start stack and 30-minute levels. It's the old main event structure, back when it was the self-dealt. And there's a generous $20,000 guarantee on that one. And with 2 small flights so far, could be another chance to capitalize on some plus EV opportunities. Back to the action here. Marky Williams from the hijack. Ace 5 of clubs. Bumps it up. Peter in the cutoff with the King 7 suited. Find a call there in position, as is Jackie May's 9-8 of clubs. These suited holdings. Wanting to peel a flop. And they will get the chance to do so. Jesse's clubs, we can see, in trouble. But no danger of being outflushed on that board. Picks up bottom pair. And it's Peter who's suited holding connect best. 1 diamond away from a flush on his end. And Mark Williams with the best of it. Top pair on the flop. Now makes top and bottom. The 2 pair on the turn. And interesting to see what sizing he goes with here. 25K in the pot. He goes with 18,000. And Peter not going to fold his nut flush draw as we go to a river. And it is a diamond. So we have 2 pair going down in flames against a rivered flush. Does Mark slow down at all? Hard to give Peter too much credit for a flush. Well, you're not immediately putting him on it, but Mark there does slow down. Not just flush completing, but some straight draws as well do get there. King Jack, perhaps. A hand that would have been involved. Peter there. Goes for the bet and a quick call from Mark. It'll be hard to get away from. We'll see what size Peter went for. Looks in the realm of 30,000 or 47. Wow. Gives my color blindness with that screen. Big bet, and Mark takes a big hit. And Peter chips up nicely. Nut flush versus top and bottom pair. Unlucky there for Mark Williams. But going back on mute. Enjoy the coverage in the meantime. Stay tuned for social media updates in the interim.
But he wasn't gonna open. Dragon's won another one. Bro, the people who have won are just only like it's like a group of people who only they have won. What happened? Yeah. Oh really? Yeah. Could actually ruin the sport.
Yeah, like, I'd say there's been 150 so far. It's probably like 100 of them.
Yeah, might have been.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So what could they do about that?
No.
They want to keep this from big league status.
Yeah, and they rate it anyway, so like they still win.
The reason APL is good is introduced to the status. And not because that's the main factor.
Yeah.
So you're hurting yourself, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Oh, yeah. I saw it. Oh, okay, yeah. No way. Do you only get dealt one card? No, you didn't.
That's all I did. I lost the ball. Look at it again.
You're up.
1, John in 2, Luke in 3, Russell in 4, Andreas in 5, Doug in 6, Gabriel in 7, Zach in 8, Nick in 9, and Zach in 10. Queen 6 in 1, Queen 8 in 2, Ace 4 in 3,
Yes.
7 deuce in 4, Jack
I've
6,
been working on that.
Jack 6 in 5, 8 3 in 6, 3 5 in 7, Jack 8 in 9, King 3 in 9, and 5 2 in 10. Bottom King, King, Queen, all bar locked up for seat 9. 5 on the turn. And an ace on the river, King 3 will take it down to seat number 9. Well done, Nick. Alright, now it's time to roll the jack star flip. Troy in 1, Nola in 2, Boat in 3, Justin in 4, David in 5, Andreas in 6, Chris in 7, Vicky in 8, Lance in 9, and Rob in 10. Seat 1 has Queen 5, Seat 2 has 5 3, Jack 5 in, Seat 3 10 9 in 4, Ace 6 in 5, King 2 in 6, Queen 10 in 7, Ace 7 in 8, 4 Kings in 9, and Ace 6 in 10. Top of Queen 9 4. 5 on the turn, Queen 5 and Seat 1 pulls ahead. And a 6 in the river. So just confirm there's no straights. Queen 5 is our winner. Congratulations, Troy. Daniel will come around and grab your details. All that money in your account. Yellow 8 max plans to 1 drop next hand, 200, 400. That's 200, 400 yellow 8 max.
viewership should be going up, right? Yeah. Heads up. Nine check. Three check. Nine check. Three check. Nine check. Bet 9K.
Don't forget, players in the room, we do have a new procedural change with Aplpt. We now allow multi-tabling as long as you're doing everything right. You are more than fine to multi-table now with Aplpt.
Oh, 9 call.
Just want to see the cards, buddy.
Mark your cards before you call. I thought I'd never see a call back again. I see it the very
The
next
rough
day.
call.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No.
I was like, I'll probably never see a call muck ever again.
Yeah, I saw the stream. He came on, he was on comms later explaining.
What did he say?
No,
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, couldn't understand. Couldn't understand.
He got confused by the card reader. He thought that
Oh,
showed
that's
his hand.
and then you're done.
Yeah,
So you
he
don't have to
rang
send
me
it over.
about that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he said, I got so confused. I thought because they were on
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
them
yeah,
being displayed.
Yep, for
He
sure.
said, and then
I guess
I believe that would be Ronak. Is that the one you're
Yeah,
talking about? Yeah.
I wasn't actually in the tournament, but I was watching it. Just a crazy ball.
Main event dealers and leaders, your blind will be up next, hands out 300, 600 with a 600 big blind ante.
8 fold, 6 8, 9 4. 1 fold. Raise 21K. Call 21. Do you have 2 red? Is that 2 reds? Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yep, good. Thanks. Call 21. 3 run out. Two. 23. 6 fold. 8 fold.
Alright, all the increased players and dealers, one drop next hand, 5, sorry, 15-3-3. We are coming around dropping some racks to get one player on each table with about 400 trips, please. That's 15-3-3. And we are buying up for 100.
What'd you say? 3-3. Bridges or? I said it to you. Like this is showing every hand. Why is it brutal? Did I say that? Yes, and then he started 5, getting stuck into 6-4.
7. Red 6k. 8 and 9 forward. 1 forward. 2 forward.
So we'd have to break tables. Hopefully I feel a little buff.
Heads up.
I could ask Gina though.
Check. Seven, 8, 3, 4.
Oh well. I nearly called, George. I nearly called. That would have been bad for me. You would never call. I don't know, you get pretty out of line.
Nothing too good against the buffs.
5 forward. 6. Red 6k.
Yeah, that's a fine off my bench.
7 and 8 forward.
Just take them. You don't.
9 forward.
Next time, don't need to deal them to me. No problem.
Sit 1 forward. Sit 2 forward. 3 forward. Power 6k. Sit 4 forward. Heads up. Check. Sit 4 check. Six four.
Good, great, excellent.
Six seven. Call. 6K. Heads up. 6 7 check.
Next to play in the box.
Fold. 6 1. Bet fold. 4,000. Six 1 bet 4K. 7 4.
Take it.
6 9 fold. 1 and 2 fold. 3 rate 6K. 6 4 fold. 6 5 fold. 6 6 fold. 6 7 fold. 6 8 call. 6K. Heads up. 6 8 check. 6 3 bet 5K. Call. 6 8 call. 6 8 bet 7.5. 6 3 right 27.
Alright, Daniel is walking around doing that Centurion flip. Still 5 seats left in that one. Also doing main event flip, $50 1 and 10. Centurion is 250, 1 and 10. 50K guarantee on that one. Main event, $50 1 and 10. 75K guarantee on that one.
All in.
And Jack Star as well.
3 all in.
Has 10 seats available.
1 125. 129. 129K. 129.
Did you not see the last flop you did with the Queen Jack? It's like you forgot.
Didn't have quads.
You reckon? Metro, please. So obvious you've been bluffing that maybe you're not bluffing. There's a reasonable chance that I'm going to look like the biggest imbecile in the world. How big was your pair?
Full house, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
Well, which pair do you think I have?
well, I didn't watch your fucking hand. I'm just asking. I'm sorry to be followers.
One, all in.
There's a 10. Can you check back the flop?
6-4.
I bet flop. You led the turn.
7-4.
3.
Charter up, I reckon.
Hey, yo. That's good. 10% VPIP, yeah. And it's gone down.
There's 4 seats left in that Centurion flip. Don't forget you can buy 2 seats. Look up.
Race 6K. 5-4. Raise 18.
All PLO Amex players, your blinds are up. 300, 600 next hand, please. 3, 6 next hand.
1-4. All in.
You buy the ticket. Yeah, the guy sold the ticket. So what's the fucking point? He was going to buy it.
89 and a half.
Yeah, but they're simply trying to use the number. No, I mean, it's good for us anyway, because someone else is better, but like, they're trying to run the flip to get people to do it.
6-4.
It's actually looking at James Bond. I think he has. You can't back to back laugh. It's not possible. But he did laugh after you followed him, which means it was a chop.
6K. A chop.
But he's
not very good.
He's shaking a little bit still, like still got the excitement. So that means he probably bluffed. Yeah, live tells.
Post hand live tell.
Yeah, it's a real thing. You know, it's like after you fold and then double chip their cards. That's like chew up, bluff.
10 minutes ago live rinse.
Bro, 100%. Look, it's still juiced. When you run a big block, you feel excited.
She's 7. Raise 21. She's 8 and 9. Fold. She's 1. Fold. She's 2. Fold. She's 3. Fold. 21. 5. Fold. Heads up.
These are cool stuff. Really?
No words online.
Don't say that, bro.
Sit 4. Sit 3. Check. Seven. Bet 15. 15k. Three. Four.
I haven't even entered the pot, to be honest. Yeah, you reckon? Can't be that bad. Thank you, bro. You too. Bro, you shouldn't. That. That's
I had a full house.
You shouldn't though. Like,
I had a full house.
just let them bust themselves and then just get the money, bro.
I'm not out here check on the room with ace high. For the one hand I beat him into it.
Bro, Rex, you should be that strong. I'm actually stone bottle, bro.
5. Fold. Six. Wait. 6k. 7 and 8. Fold. 9. All in.
Take him.
1. Fold. 2. Fold. 6. 3. Fold. 6. Fold.
That's it. Everyone gets to win a pot.
She's 5. Fold. You chirp a lot when you're on the rail. 6. Raise 6k. 7. Re-raise 20k. Sit 8 and 9. Fold. Sit 1. Fold. Sit 2. Fold. Sit 3. Fold. 4. Fold. 6. Fold. 5.
Two hands, two hands. You had to have it, bro.
Raise 6k.
He absolutely does not have to have it.
No, you had, like, you know, I mean, you do, you made the fold.
4-4.
I can't be wrong, right? Because right now I'm saying that, like, definitely wrong.
Yeah.
I also call.
Yeah.
That's like when Daniel McGrath calls it love. He still looks like he hands out of it.
You check off what? Let's say you check raise.
He just raised, yeah. Just shove it.
He's just gonna shove me jacks like pure.
Bro,
What if it's the flop?
this is with a
Bit smaller, big.
Oh,
Oh, you said that was
I'm 10-6-4.
That was a lead. It's an ace of that.
I don't think so.
If it gets smaller, it's an ace. I think like
Betting hand.
Jack, queen. I'm picking the hand. I'm putting him on kings. You can't pick the same hand as me. Alright, then I'll go queen. I'll go
Wait, nah, Queens is... Maybe a pistol.
5, bet 20. Call.
Could have given him away now. Does everybody want to stay and laugh at me? If his hand flashes up as king queen before it gets to me, I'm just running out of here.
He's gonna have it. He's gonna have it. Fuck, he's not gonna have it, dude. I had the after life towels.
Torture. I'm out of time balance from those stupid other hands.
7 under 8, 6, 4. 9. Raise 6. 6k. 1 under 4. 3, 4.
Yeah.
20 minutes until when you finish your current hand, please. You are going on a 15-minute break.
5, 4.